These days, I see an ever-increasing number of people coming in with prescriptions for antidepressant tablets. I mean, it's just going like this. I personally would like to see more things done before they get their medication, trying to prevent it rather than just straight away going onto medication. It is a real problem with older people because they've gone through their life, they've had their families and their kids, and everyone's off doing their own thing and they're left alone. This is a problem that happens to young kids at school. They're getting depressed. It's a real problem and it needs to be addressed. Well, anxiety and depression are different, but from a naturopathic point of view, they're treated exactly the same way. If the stomach doesn't digest your food well enough, you don't get enough goodness into your bloodstream. Now, the blood does the work in the body, and if it hasn't got enough nutrition, it says to the nervous system, we need more. So say this is a nerve column, but it'll be white. The message goes up to the brain and around the body like this. It's the storehouse or the warehouse of all the nutrition that we need. So the blood says, oh, listen, I need a bit more of this, thanks, or I need a bit more of that, thanks, or I need a bit more of this, thanks. Now, this ends up being like a piece of Swiss cheese. So rather than the message going up to the brain like this, the message starts going like this. It gets confused, garbled, and disjointed. So we start getting this confusion in our brain, which tends to get us to panic, and the panicking, the stress, everything tends us to have a feeling of depression. You've got to feed the central nervous system, you've got to feed the brain, you've got to rebuild the system again, and you've got to start from the inside to the outside. So as before, we've got to start with the stomach and we've got to cleanse the body and rejuvenate it and regenerate and rebuild it. When I have someone with a problem with all these holes in their nervous system, like I explained earlier, I often give potassium phosphate and magnesium phosphate combined with silica. Give it 3 times a day to rebuild the nervous system, combined with the silica just a couple of days. The magnesium phosphate and potassium phosphate are in a tablet, and the silica is also in a tablet. Now, as well as that, of course, we've got to treat the stomach with the digestion, with digestive enzymes, which helps the stress and helps with feeding the body and keeps the body in its highest ebb. And I believe that everyone that has been diagnosed with depression should be on a tonic. What the anti-stress tonic does, it feeds the central nervous system, it stops them pumping acid into the stomach, it helps with the digestion, it helps with absorption of nutrition into the nervous system and into the bloodstream and into the body. So a person taking a tonic becomes healthier and stronger, and they cope better with their everyday life. I suppose people are under the conception that they believe that if they eat good, healthy food, they're going to get everything that they need. Unfortunately, it's a fact of life that they have stripped the soil of nutrition and of minerals. My story of chelated colloidal mineral is an old one, that all the animals in Africa were dying. And they sent over the Americans to find out why they're dying. They did autopsies on them. They found out they were dying because of a deficiency in chelated colloidal minerals. So then they went to the monks in Tibet, to the Hunzas in the mountains, and they did blood tests on them, and they were high in mineral. These people live long and healthy, 100 plus. They tested the soil, they tested the food high in chelated colloidal minerals. So then, I believe that if you take chelated colloidal minerals every day, you will live longer and healthier. I do, and I recommend it. They say that the body heals itself the maximum when we're sleeping, when we're at our lowest ebb. That's why when we meditate, we're healing our bodies. But it's so important that we get 8 hours sleep a night. And when we get up, we've had that healing process. So remember, depression isn't a lifelong problem. If you have depression or you're taking medication, always look at something that will assist you to get you off your medication and to get rid of the depression.